As pro football was gaining popularity in the late 60s, one thing we wanted to show was how popular the game had become. In Big Game America, we showed football as a national event. We even got a movie star, Burt Lancaster, to narrate. Looking back, almost 40 years later, the things we noted then as new angles, the huge media attention, the idea of players as national celebrities, are now commonplace, part of what has truly become Big Game America.
Jim Marshall is a professional football player. Like all the men of his profession, past and present, he's a hunter for action, for excitement, and for challenge.
Takes I think, a different breed of cat to play pro football. I've always told the new fellows coming in that you've got to be just a little bit crazy to play professional football.
Here we go, Don. A mood look, Don. Good, Don. Even a little more out to sea, Don. Beautiful, Don.
Don Meredith is a different breed of cat. He's not a hunter, but a lover.
Yeah, like you're really
A lover of the game he plays and of the opportunities it has given him.
Good, Don. And you're really looking, Don. Beautiful, Don. That's the shot, Don. Good. Great. Think about it, John. Beautiful, Don. Good. Don. Beautiful. Good.
Professional football is a violent game of physical contact played by a conglomeration of misfits. Not misfit in that the guy can't do anything else or he doesn't belong anywhere else, but misfits in that this guy is a misfit in the positive point of view, that he's something kind of special. Not that he's better than anyone else, it's just special. It's a special talent.
Special men in a special game. A uniquely American game with a history as rich and as rugged as the country in which it was born. Town teams were formed, rivalries flamed. Victory became vital at any cost. In 1915, Canton, Ohio organized a pro team, and to ensure victory, the promoters signed the most famous athlete in the land. He was called Bright Path by his Indian mother, but was known to millions as Jim Thorpe. In the 1912 Olympics in Stockholm, he scored more points than did whole nations. King Gustav of Sweden proclaimed him the greatest athlete in the world. But football was Jim's favorite sport, and his name gave the pros their admittance to the national scene. In the next few years, more stars came. Men like John McNally, a wild young man who left the Notre Dame campus in search of excitement and found it in pro football as Johnny Blood. En route to some forbidden pro ball, he saw a movie marquee. That day, Johnny Blood took the field for the Green Bay Packers, and Blood ran on and on for 15 seasons. Thorpe and Blood gave a prestige and a style to pro football. George Halas gave it a foundation from which to grow. In 1918, he lost his position as a right fielder with the New York Yankees to a player named Babe Ruth. Frustrated, Halas turned to pro football and founded the Chicago Bears. He employed himself as left end, captain, and coach. In 1920, he founded the National Football League and guided the game into the Roaring Twenties. In football, it was Red Grange, a college halfback from Illinois. And perhaps more than any other athlete, he was thoroughly a product of his time. He was Red Grange, the galloping ghost. In 1925, he turned pro and signed with George Halas's Chicago Bears. Thousands who had never heard of pro football packed the stadiums to get a glimpse of the ghost. Grange did more to popularize pro football than any other player before or since. The next great stride in pro football was taken not by a runner, but an owner. George Preston Marshall of the Washington Redskins believed that football should be entertainment, and that entertainment was a long forward pass accompanied by good music. For the latter, he organized the Redskin Band and provided pro football with its first team song, Hail to the Redskins. As for the forward pass, he hired Sammy Baugh, the most accurate passer in college football. In his rookie season, Slingin' Sam led the Redskins to the championship, and his passes signaled the beginning of modern pro football. With the advent of the forward pass, the game left its rough and tumble days. In the dawn of pro football, someone thought of the T formation, and everybody used it. But the defenses caught up with the T, and then for a long while, no one used it. In the 30s, they used complex shifting formations with intricate patterns of deception. Only one stubborn man in Chicago stuck with the old-fashioned T, George Halas. In 1940, Halas rebuilt and redesigned his outmoded T. On a bright and crisp December afternoon in 1940, 36,000 people witnessed the birth of a new era in pro football. Halas unveiled his renovated T, and his Bears demolished the Redskins 73-0 to win the championship. The Bears' victory was so impressive that every team adopted the explosive T formation, and players tossed the ball around like vaudeville jugglers. By 1943, the zany tempo of the tee was slowed to a march. Pro football was attuned to the temper of the times. At the control center of the pro attack was the tee quarterback, the dashing commander of Sunday's wars. Otto Graham, number 14, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, traveled the paths of glory more often than any quarterback in history. He led the Browns to a title in each of his 10 years in the game. With Norman Van Brocklin, number 11, at quarterback, the Los Angeles Rams scored more points than any team ever in the pro game. Bobby Lane, number 22 of the Detroit Lions, couldn't match Van Brocklin in pure passing skill, nor was he as polished as Otto Graham. In fact, whatever he did looked difficult rather than easy. But Lane, like the others, was a champion. He was a driving field general who demanded and got the very best his troops had to offer. Like the old soldier, Lane just faded away, playing out the last years of his colorful career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. When the drums of World War II disappeared, pro football changed its beat. Sunday's wars became Sundays with soul. Young black men from small Negro colleges in the South and the West came to the game in a steady stream. There were mountains like 240-pound Marion Motley, number 76, and molehills like 5'4" Buddy Young, number 22. Willie Gallimore, number 28, could run 100 yards in 9.6 seconds. And at times it seemed as though he could do this sideways and backwards as well as forward. Bobby Mitchell, number 49, was strong, quick, and could change directions like a fish. Runners like Mitchell and Gallimore added a new dimension to the old art of carrying a football. It was Yankee Stadium, 1958. The Giants and the Colts in the championship game. After 4 periods of regulation play, the game was tied at 17-all. For the first time, the championship would be decided in an extra sudden death period. The sheriff and the villain in pro football's most famous showdown. Are champions. The good guy wins, and and pro football has been true to the heroic image of its time. In John Unitas, America had a new sports idol, and it was a new America that idolized him, the America of television.
60 on 4 on the ISO.
TV thrust pro football into millions of American homes. Sundays became an electronic orgy of plugged-in passes and turned-on touchdowns. Was the master, and pop went the message. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. The pro game in the pop age had a number of superstars, but only one Superman, and he was Jim Brown. It is unlikely that anyone will ever again run as far or as well. While the game moved through the pop age, the Green Bay Packers remained in the Ice Age, their rich tradition of victory frozen under a glacier of defeat. In 1958, Green Bay hired Vince Lombardi as head coach. He brought fire to the Ice Age and brought pride back to the Packers.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
In his first year, Lombardi gave the Packers respectability. His second year, the Western title. His third, the World Championship. As America pointed its sights toward a new frontier, the Packers launched pro football into the space age.
Thousands of people here in the stands, and there are millions of people on television, and everyone looking, and all with speculation to see what kind of a game the Green Bay Packers are going to play today. Right? Right. I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. You be proud of this game, and you can do a great deal for football today. Great deal for all the players in the league and everything else. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
On January 15, 1967, the game blasted into a new orbit. 65 million spectators, the largest single viewing audience in the history of sport, watched Lombardi's Packers play the Kansas City Chiefs in the first Super Bowl game. Lombardi wins, but most important, the game wins. On a Super Sunday, pro football becomes America's super game. In its 50th year, pro football remains an expression of America. No player fits the accepted pattern of the 60s better than Joe Namath. He has defied coaches, curfews, and conventions, but stands unchallenged as the game's most celebrated player and its finest passer. He is only 26 and not yet proven or tested by time. But regardless of his future, he will always be enshrined in that glowing Miami afternoon when he led the New York Jets to an astounding upset over the Baltimore Colts to win the 1969 World Championship game. It is doubtful that George Halas will receive an ovation when he leaves the field for the final time. He is 74 years old now and moves through the mud age of Aquarius like some old period piece. Yet George Halas, perhaps more so than Joe Namath, is a man for his time. He has done his thing for 50 years. As you watch him on the sidelines at Wrigley Field, you suddenly realize that there is very little difference between the George Halas of today and the George Halas who gave the National Football League its name a half a century ago. For this is a game for the young, a young game for a young nation. Big Game America.
I left 92 T-pull on set. Time for the reset! To the left back! Hut, hut!
Don Meredith, number 17, is part of Big Game America. In a sport of special men, he is extra special because he's a quarterback.
Eye right. 93 T-pull on set. Ready?
24, Leroy.
Hut, hut!
Stack him up, Robbie!
This is red, right, flip. 61, double shoot. That's on 2. Ready? 60 up, cut. Hut, hut! Dadgummit! He slipped out of his break.
I tell you, Don, he's putting on an awful big break, see? And you've got to let him get going before you fire the ball, see? But he's coming way in.
I threw that thing right at his break. I think he fell down. Yeah, Ray. Hello. Well, he didn't make a route. Well, I know it. You know, hell, I got a throw back there after a while. Okay, but I don't care which way he breaks if he'll just break. Okay, bye. I know where to go! That's good!
Don Meredith has played pro football for 9 years and has twice led the Dallas Cowboys to the Eastern Championship. He is an excellent passer and play caller, but what makes him exceptional is his unique quality of leadership. Best explained by Pete Gent, Meredith's teammate for 5 years.
Meredith as a leader is, to me, is unique. He falls into no category. Merlin Olsen once said that Meredith has a charisma. That's exactly what he's got. You don't know why, but you just consider him exceptional. Meredith has that inner something that comes out into the other ball players, and they feel it. They follow him. They just, he is a real leader. I mean, they follow him off the field as well as on the field. He will, for instance, play the role of a buffoon when the team is together in a group, 4 or 5 guys, and he's with a group of guys he really doesn't know very well on the team. Now, there's 40 guys. It's pretty difficult to get to know all of them personally. He will play the role of the clown because he knows they all look up to him. And he will immediately bring himself down to a level where they all think they're on the, they're all pals. He runs the gamut, everything from the cool, collected to the showboat, riverboat gambler, depending on what he thinks is necessary at the moment.
I'll tell you what, let's just group together. Everything's going all right. We're just making some mistakes, and those things, we'll get them over with. We're going to whip them. We're going to whip them.
Let's get on.
Freeze, 1X. It's on 2, ready? Hut!
Did not report. He did the series before. He did not report this time.
Oh, that's nitpicking. Hey, that's nitpicking with that stuff.
50, listen, call the 67. 15 yards from here.
Oh, golly bun.
We're on a 29 that goes to the... tackle. He's a tackle. He's a tackle.
He's not an end, he's a tackle.
Hey,
He's a tackle. That's picking too much anyway. No, he's not. He's not playing an end. He's playing a right tackle. Y'all go back and sit in that huddle. You get back in the huddle. Just settle down. Wing zig out. We're cutting them. It's on set hut. Let's go. Hut, hut. Way to go, Lance. Bobby, if they play it the way they did the other motion, it ought to be to you. 89 wide deep. On two, ready? Hut, hut. Oh, yeah. Hey. 65 wing quick post. Lance, be alert. It's on two, ready? Hut, hut.
I'm probably the best example that I can think of a guy who is the most unlikely looking candidate for professional football. I got horrible legs, my ankles are all torn up, I'm not really that big, I'm not fast, I'm not really that smart, and yet I've played 9 years, and it's, I'm not saying I'm at the top of it, but I haven't done that badly in 9 years. And I don't look like a football, so something there, you know, I don't know what it is that enables me to play.
The Meredith mystique can only be explained in bits and pieces. There is no one thing. There never is. One large piece is Don Meredith's guts, his enormous courage. For a quarterback, there is no place to hide or rest, no way to avoid the battle. It finds him with a swift and sudden truthfulness. Quarterback is the object of much punishment, and in failure, the object of much criticism.
Sir! Hut, hut!
It hurts to get booed, because I think it hurts when you try to do something real well. And let's face it, you know, we're kind of putting on a, I hate to use the word putting on a show, but we're putting on a performance. And if your performance hasn't been received well, you're disappointed. The most disappointing thing is that in your heart, you know, you did the best you could. You know, you did the very best that you could. And then they just say, whammo, you know, they just like, they really let you have it. And you want to say, hey, you know, but you really don't understand, people. You don't really understand what it's all about. Don't do that, you know. I don't like seeing anybody get booed. Don't do that to me. Don't do it to anybody else. It's not right. I think Bobby Lane put it real well. He said, you know, especially in a quarterback situation, you're either in the penthouse or the outhouse, depending on how last Sunday was.
And now, you know, the big problem we face in the game against the Cowboys is their great quarterback, Don Meredith, number 17. I think the most important thing as far as we're concerned as a front four is if we can put the pressure on Meredith with a good, strong rush, get our hands up, that we can upset him. And remember this, Meredith at times hasn't shown to be a real durable football player. Probably, as we see it, as we've talked about here, the key to the game is going to be our ability to put the pressure on Meredith. Certainly we got to respect Perkins' running ability, but I think if we can swarm Meredith, put the pressure on him, we'll see how rugged we'll test his manhood a little bit. You know, his past history of injury is, let's find out how much he can stand the pressure that the front four is going to put on him. So anything within the rules prevails, so if you get a chance to get him in the hole, let it go.
I think he's going to be playing me for the outside rush, and I think he's going to give me a lot of ground to the
Jim Marshall is a defensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings. He lives to fight an anonymous and brutal battle in what pros call the pit. There is no glory. There are no heroes in the pit. Finesse and style have no place here. It's a battleground for big men, big in size and in desire.
I play football because I love the game. There can't be any other reason. You have to love it to play it. You have to have that desire. You have to be, well, as Harry Gilmer used to say, agile, mobile, and hostile.
On offense, the lineman is the great protector, the trailblazer, the block of granite. He provides the runners and the passers with the inches and the seconds in which to perform. On defense, he is the destroyer. His body is his only weapon. These are massive, aggressive men, physical men in constant search of challenge. Men for all seasons. For 11 seasons, Jerry Kramer played for the Packers, but in the spring he wore a helmet of a different type and found his challenge in the ocean as a deep-sea diver. For Gary Pettigrew of the Eagles, the challenge is not one of strength or endurance, but of speed. He is a race car driver in the off-season.
One morning, I was lying in bed, and I looked out, and I saw some big puffy clouds, and I thought to myself how beautiful to be completely free and unattached from anything on earth.
To the men who play it, pro football is more than just a sport, more than just a physical contest. It is a way of life. It is an association with good people, proud people, all united in their love and devotion to the game.
Pro football becomes very personal, yet it becomes it's like group therapy. You're out there with the 11 guys on your offensive team. You hurt for them. You care about them. When they get hurt, you get hurt a little bit. In one Sunday afternoon, you can get all the gratification that most people get in a lifetime, or you can get all the defeats that most people get in a lifetime. But it still boils down to the basic fact that life is telescoped into 2.5 hours on a Sunday afternoon. Life is telescoped into one Sunday afternoon.
Pro football, a violent odyssey through a 100-yard universe. There is more to pro football than Sunday afternoons. Each game is preceded by hours of preparation and practice. Each new opponent is studied and analyzed.
This particular defense that the Vikings have is one of aggressiveness. But in order to beat them, I just feel like you've got to handle their front four, and especially the two ends. Try to stay in the middle area, mainly to keep the pass rush off of you. I mean, don't take passes that take too long to throw. Otherwise, you're going to have Eller and Marshall, down your neck if you take too long to throw the ball.
Way to go, McGilly Gorilla. Here's the thing that I'm worried about. If we get the pressure up the middle, you know he's going to start going to the Meredith's going to, he's going to get out to the outside. And if Meredith finds out that he can get us by running that quick count, then he's going to run us to death on that quick count. And we can't afford to have that, see? So we've got to have time to adjust.
The main thing is going to be keeping him in, though, keeping him bottled up.
Keep him bottled up.
And it'll be
Strategy, practice, planning, an overture to Sunday Symphony. For the Vikings and the Cowboys, this is the last game of the season. For Don Meredith, it is the last game of his career. After it, he will retire, taking with him many proud memories and in return, giving one to the game.
I will never be remembered as a great passer, or a great runner, or a great signal caller. I hope to be remembered as a nice person.
This is our thing. Get it in here, girl. Look here, I ain't lying, baby. Let's win this today. Let's win this today. Let's go. All right.
It's okay, baby. We'll get it back. It's all right, Robert. If there's a question as to what you're to do, ask me before I get out of the huddle. Because what we don't want to do is make any mistake. Okay? Well, let's do something wonderful. Red right, wing false zig. It's on 2. Ready? Cut. Briscoe side. Hut, hut.
Let it stick with Kurt.
Come on, Kurt. Hut, hut. Come on, turn around. Hut, hut. Feel it. 4, 3, hut. Let's go, Ralph. Hut, hut.
He's open. He's got it.
Come on, offense, let's go. Come on, we got to get to 7. Come on, baby, come on, we got to get it.
Oh, Ozzy.
Come on, Bonds.
Oh, way to go. Way to go, D. Split, split. Go on, John. Go on, all the way. Henderson. Take off, John.
His leg. Henderson's leg, bud.
Red shrimp, green shrimp, rock.
Watch out, watch out. Come on now. Hey, come on, baby. Come on, let's have a nice clean one, okay? Come on, we don't want to have a fighting and stuff, man. Come on, Lonnie. Hey, don't start. Look, man, play on the field.
Help him off.
Oh, man, I was on him, man. I gave him a good lick over there, too.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, I gave him a good lick.
Coach Lonnie's taking your responsibility and you're taking his, so you got to play him head up.
Head up.
Well, you don't have to play him head up, but hit back into his head so you can handle it both ways.
Okay.
Come on, Big O, get the 7, babe.
Dig it out, Bill, dig it out.
Way to go, Gene, way to go.
Pitch it, Joe, pitch it. Fumble. Cowboys ball.
All right, now I want you to listen to me, and listen good. Because this is what we're going to do. We're going to run the ball, we're going to pass the ball, we're going right down this field, and we're going to score.
Take the ball!
One Sunday in pro football. A single page in a story 50 years old. Big Game America.